Alright, so we got all that set up. Let's take a peek here, see if Speed Bump has got his running just yet. Not seeing it yet, but we'll keep checking in. See what's going on there. Oh, welcome. We've got the rookie race today, sharing a little bit of love on the other side of the grid. Should be a fun one. Got Kai here, not very vocal in the chat, but listening to the broadcast as it comes through. Seeing quite a few racers have not yet left the pits anyway, so I'm sure we'll see some action slowly. Muting ourselves in the Discord there just so that you don't bother them too much. But take a look here. We actually got Diaz and JT Peds real close to each other in their current practice laps, or at least since we've joined the server. Looking at the live timings, that does hold true with Exeter not far ahead of them. Sitting at a 1:14.5 is his best lap during all the off-track stuff. And possibly before we joined in today. It's not the shortest. It's not the longest track, so these guys are pretty able to set a time, or at least a decent one quickly. That is always good.
Oh, Bug's muted. Never mind. Well, never mind.
Well, I don't have to be. What do you want?
I was going to try and close that ticket that you just or tagged me in earlier today.
Oh, I just did, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, dog. I guess the other chat's the one, or is this the chat? I'm confused.
No, you're in the other one. I'm broadcasting the rookie race today.
Okay, bye.
Adios. All right. Just trying to keep my eye here on the other event, see when it goes live. Still not seeing it just yet. Keep an eye though, keep an eye. Alright, so we got a few more slowly coming out on the track now. Ooh, and they're taking it with some style. Let's see if we can get back to the announcer bot here. See if we can't just set a little example time for the boys. I'm kidding. We'll give you guys a little tour of what these guys are up against today. If we can find the announcer bot. Oh, there we are, one small little pit over here. And let's take a little peek around the grid. See what it is that these guys have to go up against today. So we'll deliberately get a little track cut here so that our lap doesn't count. But they've got a long straightaway to deal with here. And again, they're going to be in the MX5s. So plenty more time. This will be the first real passing opportunity that they have. It looks like it'll be long enough that they might be able to take an outside line if they take it with some speed. They do have one little chicane here. It's definitely going to be a little tougher to go too wide across. I'll consider this passing opportunity number 3 here, as a long straight and some draft could come into play. So a relatively decent one. These 2 chicanes are really going to be the only thing that'll throw these guys off. But I hear the track limits on them are quite interesting. And a hard right-hander back to it. And Tyler, we have this one right here is the rookie event, so this might actually be perfect for you. We split off the races between the pro and the rookie, so that people feel a little bit more comfortable learning. But definitely recommend at least checking it out. You'll see from the race today, it's a very easygoing grid, so to speak. Looks like we only have 9 on for. We only have 9 racers on for the pro race currently. Or sorry, the amateur race. Still not seeing any movement on Speedbump stream. Sometimes he waits till qualifying. Oh, we at least have a sneak preview going here. Good place to start. Looks like we will be down a man possibly on the pro side of things. I think we're going to be down a few men tonight. As we get further into the season, people start to pick and choose which races they're around for. I anticipate more people might even show up during qual since this is a shorter track. And on top of that, we'll also get the double race afterwards, the fully open race. Alright, so it looks like they are starting to get the stuff together for the pro stream finally. And we should be seeing that shortly there. I think just a little miscommunication as it happens. Taking a look at the top time, still no movement between Brennan and JT Pez. I'm hoping they might end up close enough together where they can work together. Chris C and Elvis with some very similar times, but Elvis notorious for some connection issues. We'll see how that plays into the events today. Looking at Kai, Christian Crafton, pretty close together. A lot of these guys are close. They have some lapping buddies, so to speak. Yeah, Patch, we're going to show the rookie class some love tonight. And we got the auto broadcast coming in for you guys, though, so you'll still have some race coverage. Got to try and bounce back and forth. And as I understand it, I think it is relatively close over on the rookie side of things, too. So we are here to see a little bit of a battle. Let me take a quick peek and see. Open race will not be, no. That one is just going to be for fun. I might even hop in with you guys. We'll see how much time I end up having. 32 slots, so we'll see who even makes it in. Let's see. So yeah, we've got the Chris C's are in a battle together, and then Ostrich and JT Peds are in a nice little fight. I don't see Ostrich here yet, though. So that could be a nice little boost for JT Pez. I don't even see X Marin C in yet, so that could be another boost for them as well. Definitely going to be interesting. It is interesting the gap in the times they're currently sitting with a 1:14.5 as to Dan with a 1:12.8 over in the pro expert side of things. So definitely a lot of time still to find for these guys. Certainly a question of where. For those who haven't watched the broadcast before, we do typically use a drone cam. I'm just going to let the auto cam take care of things during practice, as we hope a few more racers filter in. See if I can get any of these guys to join voice chat. See if we can bait a few of them, so to speak, in. I'm expecting that this one will have some good action. I mean, we are seeing some good times. It is notorious that these guys have a few more incidents, as we'll call them. So we'll see how it all plays out in the long run. I wish there was an easier way to bounce back and forth between the streams, but we will do what we can for now. Oh, looks like we might have some movement here. First this sucker. No, that is what we're... Okay. Not just me. Alright, we're all waiting together for that stream to open up. Buggy sounds tired. Yeah, just a little bit. It's a good weekend. Still recovering. I also haven't broadcasted in quite some time now. It's gonna take me a second to snap back into it. I keep wanting to call him Balzac, and I know that's not his name, but why is it so close? What does the D stand for? I'm gonna try and call him just D. We'll see how well that works. I'm surprised we're lacking so many. Definitely gonna make an announcement for when qual begins. See if maybe we can get a few more in at that point. let's check in with the pro class, just see what's going on over there. How's everybody doing? How we doing, everybody?
Literally first lap on this track, so pretty good.
Very nice, very nice. I'm seeing a lot of close times up on this leaderboard here. I'm gonna expect some nice, clean, close racing, everyone. All right.
And I give a caveat that this is my first time playing with my clutch pedal installed, and I will press that thing thinking it's the brake and probably rear end somebody.
It's a good thing is it's not the most technical track that we've done all season.
Correct, because I literally just did it and I was like, why am I not braking?
Yeah. So hopefully that won't hurt you too bad. But Godspeed, everyone. Just wanted to say good luck. And we'll probably be broadcasting you guys for next week, but no promises just yet.
Congratulations, Buggy.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
my guy.
Congratulations.
Appreciate y'all. Good luck. Alright, we're gonna hop in here. Still gonna stay muted there for the sake of Kai. Nobody needs to hear that. Ooh, there we go. See, that is that classic wheel-to-wheel action that I was expecting to see. Looks like Chris is trying to get him to keep moving. And the auto broadcast says we have other things to focus on. Exeter puts up a 14.4, and that is going to be his top time on the board. We've got Diaz out there with that 15.3 now. JT Peds with a 15.5. A lot of tension building up. I think Chris C is still looking for that hot lap, so that'll be the big variable, whether or not he can find the time. He has put up a 1:16.5 on paper, so he'll be wrestling with Elvis, it appears. But can he recreate that somewhere? Ooh, an excellent livery there from Brendan Diaz. We'll be getting a good look at those throughout qual. Dean, I don't know what your sleep schedule is like, but after the race, there's that open event that we're going to do. It's a 15-minute qual and then a single 20-minute race right here on this track. But it's an excuse to get both grids together, so it might be a little chaotic, but that don't mean it won't be fun. I'll tell you that much. Track temp's currently sitting at 30. Actually, ooh, that does remind me. That probably looks a little bit better. Still got a little ways to go there. You can just barely hear the roar of the F2004 engine every once in a while as they make their way all the way around Ballsack and the Waffle House. Pushing at a 1:19 right now. Trying to find some extra time. Hopefully in this second chicane he can gain a little bit. Much better exit. Oop, and they hopped out him. Oh, he's going for some Tokyo drift skills. Unfortunately, not able to hang on through. Tawa, on the other hand, looking to find a lot of time on this lap. Off to a strong start. It'll come down to the back half. Need a very strong exit here, which he finds. Man, Autobot's got a attention span of a rodent. Yeah, I don't blame him there. I was hoping to make one for Potato for Jazz Monkey for the Formula Mazda one, but obviously had a lot of stuff going on there. think we've hit a point where after the next season, I might be able to just get rid of all Kunos liveries. What up, Exeter?
What's up, man?
How you feeling about your chances today? That's a good pace, man.
Yeah, not bad. I did some practice earlier and
For
figured some stuff
reference, you would be sitting P8 over in the Pro Expert right now with that time.
Yeah.
And they've got 12 on, so that ain't too shabby at all.
Yeah.
Let me pull up my standings here. Let's see what's your battle looking like. Did you miss any races yet or no?
Brands Hatch.
Okay, so you did skip. I mean, skipping a race and you're still not far out of the hunt for P3 without the drops. So clearly you got something going on there. Did Brendan also skip one? Is that what I'm seeing here too? Let's see, where's Brendan Diaz at? No, I don't think he did. Yeah, so you're looking pretty good so far. You only missed the first one. That's not too shabby. Yeah. You got Dean in the broadcast chat calling for promotion.
No.
I think Dean, if you haven't been watching the AI races, Exeter has, I think, what I would call a bad luck magnet. Is that how you'd say that?
Yeah.
Haven't you got knocked around once or twice there? I could be wrong.
I did pretty good last GT3 at Road Atlanta. I did 3rd and 4th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But just being consistent.
It's a tricky one, but you're doing damn good, that's for sure. I'm surprised there's not too many racers in that. I figured this would be a much easier track. People would try and actually hop in for some easy points, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping Ostrich would hop in too, because he seems to be in a decent fight here with a few.
Oh yeah, Ostrich has been pretty good.
Got someone else in there? Nakudo. That.
Yep, I'm in here.
Oh, you're hopping in for qual?
Yeah, I'm in here for quali.
Nice.
Yeah, quali does start at 9:45, right?
Yeah.
Or somewhere around there.
It's about to start.
Okay.
You're on the right track.
Yeah, I'm in here. So.
All right, and we got the pro race now also in the picture-in-picture. Yeah, I don't know if I ever told you guys, but whenever I was streaming the pro races, I had you guys in the picture-in-picture. So it was, there's some mention of the ongoings in yours too. It's hard for me to see it live, but where I could. And then I don't know if you guys saw the announcement, but there's going to be an open race afterwards just for fun. Just so that all the grids can be together.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So that'll be right after a 15-minute qual and a single 20-minute race.
Yeah, I did see something about that.
All right, I'll let you boys focus on some laps here. All right, so starting to get a few more in. So as I suspected, shorter track, few people just kind of hopping in for qual. and then their race. So we'll see the grid start to fill up a little bit more, I think. Already went from 9 to 10, so that's a good start. I think we'll have Mr. Nakudo joining us shortly, making it 11. Gonna have to start coming up with some track names, so as Wibba comes around for his first clean lap, we'll start working on it. Obviously, final corner will be final corner, and first and second chicane, we'll keep those nice and simple with second chicane. We'll call it the back straight here. It's the part they don't show you on F1 TV, coming up with the names, mostly because they're all already named, but through the front straight, a nice long line heading through Little Shimmy into the elbow. Not using too much of the curbs at all. Going through the short stint into the first chicane. And a beautiful line into the long wiggle, as we will call this one. So we'll need one for that. I think this one's more, let's see, if we got that one as the elbow, we'll call that one the 90. I feel like is good enough into the final corner and the front straight. All right, good enough here. Got some times now into qual set. Wibba with the first clean lap through. JT Pez going behind him. Exeter behind as well. Exeter, we saw, had the fastest lap originally, both before the official practice and during. So we'll hang on to him as he goes through the little wiggle into the elbow. Loses it a little bit, actually cost himself half a second. Not sure what came into play as far as the grip there. He's going to be fighting to get some time back through the first chicane. And still dragging down on his time more and more. Gonna have to get his head on straight as we're seeing some quick times go up ahead of him. 28-degree track temp, so a little bit cooler, but 17-kilometer-an-hour wind. We'll actually rotate the map here so you can see exactly which direction they are dealing with this from. Just a moment here. Where is it? There you go. So they facing a little bit more like that. But yes, now you can see, so that wind speed is actually a huge headwind right here. So it cost them a lot of time through the first straight and into the elbow. Exeter now looking to gain a little bit more time here if he can. Holds off, so you can see that wiggle really cost him on that last lap. Now 8/10 up on his fastest lap time, almost a full second. See if he can make up a little bit more with a cleaner line through the chicane. Not sure if that was perfectly clean there, but still pushing hard as if it was. So no cut warning must have come up on his end. Heading into the 90 now. He does have a little bit of traffic in front of him as Chris goes off the grass. That's going to give Exeter the chance to catch up to him. Hopefully after the first or second chicane. Chris starting to go wide, and he's flashing the lights to let Exeter know he is going to let him move through. Carrying some speed through the back straight, but they'll have to give each other space on the last corner, which they do. Exeter pushing wide onto the curbs, and will lock in that 1:14.5 we saw from him earlier in the day. Let's grab on to the man behind, Chris C now with a 1:16.6, trying to catch up to JT Peds with a 16:1 in front of him. 9 minutes remaining here. In qual. Sorry, we're also taking a look at the standings over in the pro class. We do have Dan on the top of the leaderboard there with an excellent position. Jay in front of him. And oh yeah, our current leader struggling to find time, almost a half second off of the top lap at the moment. We'll see if he can get that back within the next 8 minutes on their end. Over here, we've got Exeter's just put up another purple sector in front, but we do see him go off, and a big crash teleports to pits, though, so that's not going to cost Chris any time. He needs to have a big final turn here. I don't know how much time he can really gain, but hopefully a lot more. Seems his avoiding Exeter definitely cost him some speed, and that brings him closer and closer to JT in front. Let's take a look now at the McLaren MX5. Feeling good after Lando Norris P2 this weekend. I know he was disappointed, but I personally was pretty proud of him. Tawa carrying some good speed into his lap here. He's going to be finishing a little bit ahead of his time, possibly, if he can carry through. Oh, and by a little bit, I mean just a hair, as he improves to an 18.025, or a little more than a full second separating him and the man in front, but he's really going to want to join that 16 pack in the next 7 minutes here if he can, just to prove he's got the pace to stay with the group, and gets hit with a little bit of broadcaster's curse. Nothing wrong with that. And we'll latch onto Elvis, the man from Puerto Rico, rocking the Gordon Pepsi 24 car. As I cough his way through the first chicane. You can see on the telemetry there, he's still struggling a little bit to find the exact flow of the car, but he's just got to make up 6/10 to find time on Chris C in front of him. These are going to be two 20-minute races with a reverse grid, so definitely we can see some changes throughout. I wonder if Nakudo is maybe racing under a different name, or possibly even is in the other event. Nakudo, are you in?
Yeah, I'm in.
What's your race name?
Deep Lezik.
Oh, okay, that's why I was like, wait. Never mind.
Yeah, I know.
No, you're good, you're good.
I might end up changing what my Discord name is on here, on this server.
Totally up to you. I was like very confused, but you're good.
Yeah.
All right, so that answers that. So that would be D Blazik. There is Nakudo with a 17.6. Currently sandwiched in between Christian Crafton and Kai Cool. Let's actually take a peek at that battle there. Let's see if anyone's up on their time. So Christian is, those guys are not. So let's see if Christian can carry through this speed through the rest of his lap. Still early on, so he's going to have both chicanes
are you racing
clean.
free race after this?
Hang on here. I'm going to try to. We'll see. No promises, but hopefully. I do believe we're going to get a weather change in a few minutes. I think it's... Oh, actually, no. The weather change came when the fog cleared, so they will be fighting this headwind throughout the remainder of the session. It's pretty harsh. 17 kilometers an hour. The variable was not kind to them. Getting closer and closer to the action. 4 minutes and 27 seconds remain. Sent over in the Pro and Expert class has wiggled his way into a P2 spot. Oh yeah, still sitting only a few tenths off of the men in front, but we do have a time in the 112 from Dan at the top of the board there. And our current top time of a 1:14.5 would be placed about P10 over in the Pro event right now. So none too shabby by our rookie amateur racers. These guys are doing a good job, that's for sure. Some of these tracks are a little bit trickier, although this isn't a technical one, because you're not really braking and there's not as many reference points. It's a little harder to stay in the groove for all 20 minutes. It's going to be a solid probably 19 laps if I had to guess. With overtime, I'd say there's a chance it might be closer to 17 or 18, but going to be a little ambitious here on behalf of our racers. We've been watching Christian for a little bit though. Let's check around the grid. I don't know if we've, well, nobody seems to be on anything other than an outlap. We'll see Brendan Tawa. He has lost a little bit of time, but still looks good in the papaya. So we'll try and stick with him for just a minute here.
Missing a couple people in this Discord call tonight, looks like.
Yes, it does look like a few people aren't hopping into the chat, but that happens. Nothing too crazy. Got 13 racers over in the Pro event and 10 tonight in the rookie and amateur.
I'm kind of disappointed BIC ain't here. He's been walking me these past 2 races that he's been in.
Looks like some people are missing their on-track arrivals. Yep, shout out to Moonshiner. He was definitely one of the ones that was
Yeah, it's true. He's not been around in a while.
To be on the grid.
Yeah, he and I were decently close race pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a lull in the middle of the season there. We are going to have to start scheduling season 5 as soon as we can. So we're getting closer and closer to the end of the schedule. Definitely going to have to pick out a theme for that one as well. British Invasion was the suggested theme for season 4. I think might follow something like that and do some American tracks for season 5. See how the EU racers feel about that one though. Put Laguna in it for old time's sake. Tawa struggling to find a little bit more time there, but still pushing along. See, Elvis still looking to find some. Brendan Diaz with a chance here early into his lap. See if he can carry this pace through the first chicane. Loses a couple tenths there, but gains some acceleration, so not a bad switch up on his angle. 14 seconds remaining, so we're definitely getting into the end of the qualifying laps here. Starting to look at your final grid. Diaz does have a chance to at least beat JT Pez. It's close enough depending on how his previous final turn was to where he might be able to crack into those 14s. See if he can find a little bit of time there. It's looking pretty good. And he does, a little bit shy of Exeter's pace, but that is going to be a big lap. Sends the message that he can catch up. And also another message to JT Pez now behind him. that he's not going to be locking into P2 as easy as he might have hoped. So definitely some good battles going on. Wibba and Chris C very close together. That'll be interesting. Same with Tawa and Elvis, although Kai not too far ahead of them. That'll be good to watch as well. Pretty close grid altogether from 114 down to 117. Looking over in the pro and expert race, that spread goes from a 112.9 all the way to a 116.1. Not as close. It looks like we have a good close chunk all the way down to a 114.9, and then it starts to get a little bit spread out from there, but not too shabby. So everyone seems to be waiting now patiently for their race to begin. We haven't really taken a good look at these ones before.
I agree.
We've got the green Arsenal livery, one of my personal favorites, the Waffle House, which I believe we may have seen, the South Park. Jesus Christ, Scientology. Oh, you guys are gonna get me canceled. It's okay. It's fine. Forgive everybody. I like this one. Brendan Diaz found an insane one. This thing is just out of this world, futuristic. The AlphaTauri. And a familiar Krusty Krab Mrs. Puff's Boating School. For those of you who do watch the EU, Chris's green and Wibba's MX5 Shark 48. So with a minute and 20 seconds left until the final countdown, take a brief second here. It's going to be one heck of a race.
Good luck.
Let's put in another clean first lap, boys.
Yeah, good luck, everyone.
Yep, good luck, have fun.
Good luck.
Alright, let's get this bad boy back to the pits. 29 seconds remain until the race kicks off here. Got a nice clean grid. It's got almost a little bit of a zigzag pattern to it. I dig that. Front row here, Exeter and Brandon Diaz. We got JT Pez and Wibba, Kai, Chris, Brendan Tawa, and Elvis, Christian, Crafton, and Blazek. Nice neat little grid here on a nice neat little track, so it should give them plenty of room to work with. It's about 4 cars wide. Brendan off to a rough start, leads to a little contact with Wibba and JT Pez, but just some light rubbing his racing. Everyone looking for space here as they head into the front straight. Wind speed giving them a cross draft here through the front straight. Now through the wiggle, we see JT Pez and Brendan Diaz collide. Same with Kai and Tawa. Tawa manages to get back on. Chris gets caught in the mix. Diaz now stopped in the middle of the track, trying to wait for someone else to get on, I believe. A lot of chaos there through turn 1, but the race keeps moving. Wibba defending his P1 position. Looks like he got out of the chaos and off to
I'm
a
so
good
confused.
start. So we see Wibba in P1 trying to fight off Exeter behind him. Then we've got Blazek and Christian Crafton fighting each other off behind as well. Brendan Tawa avoiding a battle between Diaz and Chris C behind as they head through the elbow. Or sorry, the 90. Got the map turned now, so it's all messed up in my head. Diaz actually moving forward a little bit. Seems Blazek must have gone off through the second chicane, giving these guys an opportunity. So this will form a neat little pack in the middle. P1 and 2 still close together. Tristan Crafton not too far behind. But we'll take a little pause here to see Blazek trying to catch back up to that main grouping. And JT Pez with an excellent exit. It's going to go flying past Kai. I do see Elvis now trying to make moves. He actually had a little bit more speed, so he's got a good opportunity to do so before the end of the straight. It'll take one heck of a lunge, which we don't see, but we do see Brennan Diaz and Tawa. It looks like Diaz did find a move on Tawa, probably through the elbow there that we missed, unfortunately. Do see Chris C looking for his opportunity as well. Exeter now only 1 second away from Wibba, so he's creeping closer and closer to that draft range. Not something he's going to want to give up before the long front straight. Hopefully he can carry that speed through the chicane, which he does, as you can see. All racers going through the second chicane right now. Brendan Diaz, Tawa, and Chris C. And it looks good. Chris C now looking for his opportunity on the McLaren in front. He's going to try and take something before the finals or the front straight. Goes for a late one here. Manages to keep it relatively clean, but loses a decent amount of speed. Tawa's going to stay well within that drafting speed and try and get the position back if he can. Actually somehow is falling back. I think Chris managed to hold a little bit more speed than I thought he would after touching the grass, and a later braking point here keeps him relatively safe. I do see Blazek also looking for a chance on JT Pez in front. At one point only 0.1 second off his time, now slowly falling a little further away. It's possible Pez may have just passed him there, could have been what we're seeing. Because Pez is now carrying through with some speed up in the front. Exeter finally looking for his chance on Wibba. Gains another 10th through the chicane, but goes off into the grass. Doesn't seem to have slowed him down much. That draft is pulling him closer and closer. Wibba's going to need to shake him a little bit if he can through this final turn. And he does. He's going to start to pull away now. Exeter with a little bit of a rough final turn into the front straight. Heading in through the wiggle into the elbow. We'll see if Wibba can keep that distance. You can tell Exeter's pushing it. He's definitely taking a later braking point and a wider line. And it's helping him in some of these later parts of the track. But Wibba is managing to hang on pretty cleanly. Tight through the first chicane. Does seem to be the trickier of the two. I do hear a sound of a racer in front. Interesting. Did not see anybody. So they're not up to lap traffic yet. I do actually see Elvis is about half the track behind them. Maybe even a little bit more. So they got quite some time before that comes into play. 15 minutes remaining. These guys are neck and neck on each other's line. We'll take a brief pause from the action because Chris C is trying to creep into a shot on Brendan Diaz if he can. And both racers going a little bit wide into the green, but not quite the grass off chicane number 2. Chris creeping a little closer here through the final turn. He takes that one very aggressively. And it does seem to have cost him some acceleration as Brendan Diaz now starting to pull away a little bit more. So Christian will not get the opportunity on this straight at least. Hopefully he can pull a few clean turns together and get that time back down. We actually see Exeter and Wibba with a similar situation going on over in the Pro League. Just checking in, we do see Dan and Sent in a very tight battle for P1. I see almost no gap there. A little bit of contact with Dapper and Oh Yeah, Speed Hack and Woohoo as well. Looks like a few collisions just as we start even talking about the race there. And speaking of curses, turn our attention away for 2 seconds, and we've got a few racers looking for opportunities here. So JT Pez might actually make a move on Tawa. We'll try and lock into that first. Tawa not really defending, just trying to take the only line he can through there. JT Pez finds a little bit of grass, and that will pull him away from the opportunity. We've got a few guys really looking for their chances there. I think Balzac, yep, Blazek has gone off in the chicane, giving Kai the chance to pull through. Blazek not giving the position back freely, though, as he'll stay within a second now, heading through the final turn. See if he has enough acceleration to maybe hang on. He does not, as he starts to fall a little bit shy. JT Pez, on the other hand, starting to catch up a little bit more to Tawa in front, taking a very aggressive line through the elbow. He is now hot through the draft of Tawa. See, he's pulling out a little bit. Don't know if he'll go through the late break chicane. He decides last minute not to, which will cost him a little bit more as he's now fallen slightly out of that drafting zone, pulling himself a little bit further into it, but he can't really do much until they get back around to that front straight with a draft opportunity. So we'll have to look for something around these corners, which he does find through the 90. Can't keep that close proximity through the chicane, and Tawa will pull back away just a little bit. Still see tight battles going on between the Chris's and Tawa, and as well as Exeter and Wibba. Nobody is too far from the man in front. Ooh, Exeter finds an opportunity. Wibba must have had a rough go around the elbow, and Exeter will pull ahead now 0.7 seconds away. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Definitely sucks that we missed that one. But we're going to let those guys go on for just a moment. I know Will was going to be fighting hard to get that one back, but JT Pez, Christian, and Tawa are all locked in a three-way battle for P5 that we don't want to miss the outcome of. JT Pez has been fighting biding his time well, looking for Tawa to make a mistake, but eventually they're going to start to lose time to P4 ahead. Wibba now only 0.6, 0.7 away. Doing a good job of hanging on, but he's going to need to find a little bit more to catch up. Just shy of 11 minutes remaining before overtime kicks in at least. JT Pez actually finds a great exit. This is going to be his opportunity now that he was looking for on the McLaren. He does go a little bit into the grass, but it doesn't seem to hurt his acceleration too much. Tawa not quite ready to give it away. He's going to stick his nose close, but a later breaking point from JT Pez does give him the clean pass, and he'll start to move towards Christian Crafton in P5 ahead. You see Wibba now sitting 1.2 seconds off of Exeter in front. So this could certainly be a big race for him. Wibba does have the fastest clean lap of the race at the moment, so hopefully he can dig deep, as he already did. Now getting to 0.9 as I start talking about it. We're going to avoid tuning over for just a minute if we can, because JT Pez is moving up a little bit quicker than Wibba is. Although Wibba does seem to have found the draft As he gets closer and closer to Exeter, heading into the wiggle. We'll see if he can make something happen here into the elbow. Ooh, and a little bit of contact as Wibba takes a late breaking point and moves on. We do have Wibra carrying through with some speed there. Some racers don't have their chat on, so it's a little bit harder to get the message through. A little hard to tell exactly what transpired there. A lot of dead air at the moment. Christian Crafton gets passed by JT Pez. I think he may have had some sort of either shifting issue. Oh, crash with environment. So he must have gone way off or maybe even hit a barrier or something. But Edie definitely took some sort of damage according to the live timings there. I don't really have a lot of words there. Sorry, I'm trying to keep an eye over on some of the other live timing stuff going on. But back to some of the action on the grid. Blazek hitting Broadcaster's Curse with force as he was only a second or so off of Kai in front. We'll see if he can regain that time on the gap. Again, these guys are dealing with a pretty heavy crosswind, so it's going to make that first chicane a little bit tougher, as it is strong enough to probably push them a little bit, depending. And Blazek goes a little bit wide into the wall there, heading in towards the second chicane. See, he actually still does have an opportunity on the man in front, as Kai seems to have struggled there as well. These guys actually giving us some of the closer competition in the race. Exeter now starting to get an opportunity on Wibba in front. Now within 2 seconds, so 6.5 minutes remain until overtime. Overtime really can't be too long given the length of the track. So definitely good that he's starting to make his move now. Ooh, and a little bit of a Tokyo drift there will catch him.
I tell you, 40 liters is too much.
40 liters is quite a lot of fuel here in the MX5 20-minute races. That I can say just from experience. Not sure which racer that was. Do you see Blazek now only a second off of Kai? We'll try and turn our attention there for a moment, see if the 46 car can catch up or not. To the 29 car ahead. These guys are lapping pretty similarly. We do have Team BMW in the chat rooting for Exeter. I believe Exeter is one of the ones wrapped up in the 4 BMWs in GT3 seasons that have similar liveries. It's honestly, I still love that they did that. Lost the angle there. Ooh, Blazek getting a little nervous of the rear end of Kai there. Pulls wide. Cost him an opportunity, honestly. He could have used that to dive in towards the inside a bit more, but plays it safe. Still has 4 minutes to go, and both of these racers have been struggling a little bit. with this course. So I think they're both going to try and lean on the fact that they could make a mistake. Exeter now within 2 seconds of Wibba in front. He is on the BMW team. That has been confirmed by Speed Bump, another member of the BMW team. And then there is Zach Dickinson and one other. Why am I drawing a blank? The one who drew them all, made them all. Or no, Sent. Sent, I think, is the other one, actually. Yeah, so Zach Dickinson, Sent, Exeter. Ooh, Blazek going for a move there as I am talking about completely unrelated things. The 46 car passing with some speed as they head towards the wiggle. That is going to let Kai get into his draft for a moment, though. So if Kai pulls off a late break here, which he tries to, he'll be able to cut the inside. Now that'll bring us to a little bit of head-to-head action for just a moment, as Blazek will have the acceleration to try and carry through. Kai looking to catch up through the first chicane, has a little bit of a cleaner, tighter line. We'll see if that's enough to move back up. You see Exeter getting closer and closer to Wibba ahead. Don't want to ignore that battle for P1. We'll see if there's any move happening here into the elbow. Not quite, but he is getting closer and closer as they head through. So we're going to try and take a pause from the Kai and Blazek moves. Oh, and as we do, Blazek seems to have gone wide, so opposite of Broadcaster's Curse there. We do have Exeter now looking for his chance on Wibba. I'm anticipating an aggressive one given the previous incident. And he goes right for that inside. A little bit of contact there with Wibba. Wibba manages to keep it on the grass. I'd say that's fair game given the earlier moments of the race. These guys are going to be going wheel to wheel for the next 2 minutes, though, as they definitely lap very similar times. Wibba's going to be pushing a little bit harder now and trying to use that draft to his advantage. And Wibba looking to cut the inside there if he can, and he does pull out in front, but Exeter immediately pulls in right behind him. See JT Pez looking for a chance on Christian Crafton as well, looking for P4 here, and he finds it. Hopefully he can hang on. Exeter's going to go for something here, hopefully through the elbow. Just tries to take a tighter line, but does leave the space for each other. They are going to be heading side by side, though, for a chicane, so someone's going to have to make a decision. And Exeter is the one who pulls off first. Does manage to have a slightly cleaner line for a moment until he hits the grass. That'll cost him a little bit of acceleration there, and let Wibba get a little breathing room as we head into the final minute and a half of racing. I know we've got some other battles going on the track, and I do apologize to Tawa and Christian, as well as Chris and JT Pez. Those guys have been fighting hard. We just need to see how this battle for P1 plays out. Exeter and Wibba have been fighting since lap 1. We are now at the end of the 20 minutes here. Judging by the lap pace, this is going to be the last lap, so the final opportunity here for Exeter as he slots in behind Wibba. Wibba going a little defensive to take the inside there. That'll at least give Exeter the chance to pull alongside through the elbow, but he will have to do something, and he's not able to. Both racers just trying to get moving now. We'll see what ends up happening. They get moving at roughly the same time, so this is not over just yet. They keep it going. Brendan Diaz is not able to make the most of that opportunity. Does close his gap down to only 8 seconds, but Wibba and Exeter are still going to have to figure this out. They both go onto the grass a little bit, and it's going to cost them some time. But Exeter's starting to pull away. He is a second ahead now. Wibba going to have to really find some time in these final couple turns. See Elvis now only half a second away from Blazek, so we do have one other battle shaping up for the final lap, which we will turn to as soon as this is over. But Can Wibba find one more opportunity? He's desperately trying, slowly creeping into range, heading around the final turn, though. I don't think he's going to find it. And it will be Exeter crossing the line, P1, and Wibba P2 there. Excellent race from both of them. We are trying to latch on to this battle here between Elvis and Blazek to finish. A great way to end it there. A lot of chaos. I'm sure I'll be receiving a report or two on that one. But that is a tough one. Really great race though up front and all around. I know these guys have been fighting through. JT Pez with a great comeback after some misfortunes up front. I think Brendan Diaz as well.
Oh, boys.
And
Once
Elvis
I figure out how to
crosses
make it
the
through the first lap
line.
without dying, you guys are in trouble.
Wow, that was one intense race. These guys do know how to put on a show over here in the rookie battle. Just to give you guys an update over
Once
on
I
the
figure out
pro
how to
side of
lose the
things.
advantage of all of you crashing on the first lap,
We had
it's over for all of you.
Dan, Sent,
And once
Jay,
I start winning,
Botlando,
it's
Cheese,
also over.
Patchy, Oh Yeah, Dapper, Mogo, Woohoo, FIFO, Speedhack, and Dave Bob as the finishing order. A little bit surprised there to see
Good race with
see that we had Oh Yeah, it's P7. So definitely going to be an interesting one. Curious to see how that plays out later on.
Ow. That hurt.
I hope you let go of your wheel before that happened.
I definitely did.
So I guess we can go in the other chat now. For the big race.
Hang on. No, there's 2 season races, so there's going to be a reverse grid race after this, and then.
Oh, and then the. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
So, Bug, we're the special boys this week to get the stream, or are you just hanging out here and somebody else's stream?
No, you guys are getting the stream this week, and then the AI stream is doing the other one. You guys just had the live broadcast.
They called us rookies and amateurs.
I think you guys put on one hell of a show. That's for sure.
No, you're just saying that.
No, that was one hell of a show. Is Exeter or Wibba in this chat?
Yeah, I'm in here. Exeter's in here.
Is Wibba in this chat?
No.
You guys had some wheel-to-wheel action. That's all I'm gonna say at this time. I was watching the whole time. I saw every part of it. Don't worry. My non-FIA opinion is everything cancels out in the end.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Dude, I will say you guys got on the gas after that final one at the exact same time. Like literally it was like nose to nose for a second. It was that first chicane was the only thing that ended up separating you guys on the final lap.
Yep.
I'm excited to watch it now.
It was nuts.
It looked good on the mini map.
Speed Bump and I were going crazy.
Yeah, he's already been messaging me.
Alright, I'm gonna let you boys focus. Race 2 in a minute. You guys are doing great. That was
Look, boys.
a race.
Yep, good luck everyone on the second.
Yep. Good luck. Have fun.
Like, that was straight up a race. Alright. So we got a reverse grid here for race 2. That means we've got Elvis and Blazek leading it off, Willard and Exeter out back. That should make for some interesting turn 1 action here. Let's see if we can capture it all on the stream. And away we go. Kai with an excellent start. He's actually going to be able to move through, I think, the full pack here. We'll see who makes the most of their drafting opportunities. I'd say at this stage in the game, these guys are better off working together. Oof, and almost a little bit of chaos in the back. We're starting to see a line form. Hopefully it's enough of one to where we don't get a repeat. Oh, and we speak too soon, although Blazak able to hang on, doesn't lose too much of his position there. Kai Cool takes P1 and Elvis starts to fall back towards the main pack. Wibba looking for a way through. Christian not far behind him as they creep onto the bumper there of Tawa. Let's take a look at the back there. Exeter playing it safe, just trying to stay out of all the chaos. See, Brennan Diaz must have left the race, unfortunately. Did miss whatever happened there, I think. Everybody looking for a good, clean second chicane,
RP.
which they seem to find so far. Exeter looking for his first clean pass of the race. Moving up to P7 now, just behind Webba. So these guys making about the same progress through the pack. That'll give them a good opportunity to race together. Try and stick with that action. We do see a few guys sticking together here. So Exeter and Webba, JT Peds and Elvis side by side up front. We'll see how that plays out, as well as Chris C and Kai. Exeter takes a little bit of a bump from Blazek in front. And gets dropped back down to P9, but still stays with the grid. This is actually going much better than the first race was. Oh, I gotta stop saying that. It's a little bit of contact, at least gives Exeter back a P7 position, but now he finds himself pretty far away from the main pack. Chris C now has moved up to P1 in a nice fight with Kai for the lead. These guys might want to focus on getting ahead of that grouping in front of them. Whoa, massive chaos there between Wibba and Elvis.
Apologize for that one, guys.
As we see Elvis trying to re-enter, hopefully does not end up causing any further collisions there. Not entirely clear what happened. But we do have Chris C now making his way pretty far ahead of the grid. JT Pez and Wibba trying to track down the front leader, or the front man rather, Chris C. Exeter still chasing down Tawa in front. Brennan Diaz behind seems to be back in the mix, so maybe that was some sort of technical error, but we'll see what ends up happening there. Maybe he can make it back up. See, Exeter actually might be looking for his chance through. A little bit of a different wind for these guys that kind of helps them here. Not too much. Still is a bit of a crosswind, but turns into a massive headwind down this entire section. So Exeter playing it safe still. He's gonna have to start to make moves pretty soon if he can. Wibba's starting to creep further and further out in front. Now Exeter's just looking to make sure he doesn't get crashed out. As he sees a little chaos ahead, Kai Cole seems to have spun out. Wibba now looking for an opportunity on JT Pez. Looks like these guys are fighting for the lead. I think Christian Crafton and Kai may have had a little bit of contact through the final turn. Wibba goes a little wide through turn 1, the elbow, if you will, and that'll give JT Pez a strong opportunity to move forward. And who else is behind him but Exeter, his fellow compadre from the previous race. Exeter now starting to make some moves past Chris C. We'll see how Christian C is faring with his battle with Elvis behind. He's trying to use that draft to his advantage, but he pulls out just a little bit too early. Not going to be able to make the most of it. He'll have to do something through the turn if he can. Both racers taking very similar lines, neither one gaining too much just yet. It'll come down to the second chicane, with Christian does manage to take with a little bit more confidence. So he's now trying to line himself up for a move into the final turn. Doesn't want to bother with the draft from the Elvis in front. And he pulls shy just a little bit, gets nervous about that cut across from the 24 car in front. Had plenty of room, but wasn't able to make the most of it. Do you see Tawa still looking for an opportunity on Chris C in front? Only 2 seconds separating Wibba and the leader, and Exeter and Wibba, as well as Chris C and Exeter. So a lot of close battles going on. You can actually see the full grid in front. That is JT Pez out in the distance there. You have Mogo currently leading the pro amateur race with Dave Bob hot on his heels behind him, as they are roughly 6 minutes in, the same way we are over here. Do you see Christian finally looking for a chance on Elvis again? We'll see if he can make something happen through the second chicane. Once again starting to creep up on the final little straight here, the back straight if you will. But will he be able to make a move into the final turn? Again, pulling off just a little early to give space to Elvis. It's nice and safe, but isn't going to be enough for him to get in front. Tawa, on the other hand, looking for an opportunity on Chris C now. Doesn't take too much later of a breaking point, so he won't find that chance there. Exeter now within a second of Wibba ahead and gaining. Christian as well looking for the opportunity. Oh, and Exeter now moving in. We're going to try and switch over in just a moment, but we'll see if Christian can make something happen through the 90. And he manages to. He keeps the pressure on Elvis, forces him off. As long as he can hold clean through the chicane, he will complete that pass there and move on into P6. We'll now take a look at what I know you guys are waiting for. Wibba and Exeter battling it out into the final straight here. Grabbing on to the 25 car. Exeter looking for his opportunity, gets a little bit closer but loses it. Goes a little Tokyo drift on us and does go fully spun out. We'll see what it ends up catching him. Almost a dangerous re-entry, but manages to leave just enough space for Tawa to move on. So he drops down to P5, 11.5 minutes remaining, but Wibba does still need to catch up and pass JT Peds ahead. So that battling could end up costing him precious time if Exeter can get on the gas here. We'll see what ends up happening. But the man in front of him, Tawa, is still hunting down Chris C in the green car in front. The McLaren looks good, but does it have the speed? As a quick line Tawa takes through there. Not sure if it was a clean one or not. Certainly coming through with a bit of force. You can hear Exeter slowly catching up, but Tawa is within the drafting range. Pulls out very early. These guys a little bit afraid to go bumper to nose here. And Tawa easy on the brakes. I think a lot of these guys after lap 1 are just trying to stay moving, or rather lap 1 of race 1, as well as some of the other incidents here. Wibba now 3 seconds away from JT Peds. JT Peds' top lap is a 14.8, so that's actually pretty good. That's well above, I think, what we saw from him in practice and qual. We do have a 14.1 from Exeter, though, as his current fastest lap, so he'll be holding fastest lap of the race. Can he keep that pace, though? If he does, he might be able to move through in the final 9 minutes here. As he moves through Tawa with ease, it's going to be close with Chris, but I think Chris is giving him the flash to pass. As he pulls back a little bit, he knows who he's going up against and doesn't want the smoke. That does cost him a little bit of speed, though. And that'll give Chris and Tawa a little bit of side-by-side action there. Although it seems that Chris, yeah, he did. He let off a little bit to let Tawa go through. I think he's just focusing on holding his position. I don't think he's in the same division as these guys. He just wants to focus on staying ahead of Christian behind him. But unfortunately, he is going to have to go wheel to wheel with Tawa. Tawa, recognizing doesn't have the speed, pulls off to let Chris through. But he will have a pretty strong exit, so these guys are going to be caught in some racing, whether Chris wants to or not. He can't give up too much more time to him. If he does, Christian's going to start to close that gap more and more. He'll have to let Tawa earn it back. We do see behind Blazek looking for a chance on Kai in front of him. As they head towards the 90, that'll be a good opportunity for him to take something up the inside. And he tries, but both racers mirroring each other nearly as they take similar lines, not only through there, but through the second chicane as well. Blazek not able to hit that second curb as clean, though, and finds himself outside of a passing opportunity once more. Tawa, though, has been sitting just off the bumper of Chris for probably about 5 minutes now. Really hoping we can see a move. It does seem to be some chaos on Pro and Expert, but Chris C spins out, and that'll give Tawa the clean pass. We'll see where Chris ends up getting back on the gas. He gets on it, but not until after Christian Crafton gets through. 7.5 minutes remaining until overtime, and Christian now sitting 1.4 seconds ahead of Chris. So that was the big worry. He was trying to stay in front and just safely lap, but I think he got a little too worried about the man behind or caught up in the action with Tawa. But now looking for his chance to claim P1 here. Exeter needs to make up 8.6 seconds in the final 7 minutes. Not something we haven't seen done before, but definitely going to be something he'll have to dig deep and do. Hopefully a little bit of hard racing between these two will give him a better chance. Webba and JT, a little nose-to-nose action into the first chicane. JT fakes the dive, and it does cost him a little acceleration, but also
Pain, heartbreak.
cost Webba a little bit of entry. You see Blazek is going to be looking for his chance once more on Kai.
Yeah, Webba's just too fast.
Yeah.
But Exeter's starting to move up a little bit. We'll see if he can keep closing that gap. Blazek does finally find a nice clean chance through Kai into P7. We'll see if he can keep the pace now through the 90. Both racers going off into the grass, but Kai having a much rougher go of it as he fully spins out. That'll put him into a fight with, I want to say, Elvis and Brendan Diaz. Brendan Diaz desperately looking to unlap himself if he can. Wow, yeah, he falls way behind Brendan Diaz there, so he's got a little bit of a chance as he's now got 5 minutes to unlap himself. Again, still something that's not unheard of. Exeter, though, seems to be struggling. He is 0.7 off of his best time when he needs to be cranking out personal bests every lap. So 5 minutes remaining to close just about a 9 or 10 second gap. Going to be much harder to see. Over in the pro and expert class, we do see Oh Yeah has taken the top of the board and possibly the top time at the moment, as we see him setting a purple sector 1. We'll keep you updated throughout that lap there. Exeter now looking to try and close this gap. No purple sector 2 from Oh Yeah, but still on pace for a quick lap. Let's take a look at where Diaz is. Diaz is in a little bit of wheel-to-wheel action with Elvis here, despite being a lap ahead. These guys are definitely providing some exciting action here at the back. I know, again, Diaz had a little bit of technical difficulties. That is the one problem with sim racing. Because no matter how set up you are, there's always the variable of the internet. Elvis starts to fly away once more. He's going to have to look for a little bit more speed, Diaz, in the 8 car. Maybe a late break here into turn 1 if he can. Does manage to close it a little bit more. It's looking slightly better here. Only 0.001 second separating the lap times previously between them, but Brendan Diaz touches a little bit of grass there, spins out wide. That will give Kai the opportunity there, and Brendan will pull out to the pits. And unfortunately, we will no longer see him as part of today's event. A strong battle from him, though, between him and Elvis. Great showing despite the difficulties kicking off race 2. Looking at the battle for the lead over in the rookie class right now, Christian Crafton and Chris C. I think these two guys are buddies when they're off the grid, but right now they can't afford to be too friendly with each other. 2 minutes and 41 seconds remaining and only half a second separating the two. Christian with an awkward angle through turn 1 gives Chris the opportunity to try and make a move into the first chicane, which he will gladly take, but not going to be easy as he has a little bit of a spin, so he loses all that progress, unfortunately, just like that. Hopefully he can get something back here in the next 2 minutes. Only 2 seconds separating them, and currently looking at their personal best times. It's going to take a mistake from the man in front, but again, nothing is impossible. Exeter now 18 seconds behind JT Pez, so I'm assuming we saw a spin or something, some kind of crash with the environment. You see he's fighting to hold off Tawa behind. 1 minute and 42 seconds now. Only a few battles remaining, but nothing too definitive. Seems JT Pez, though, looking for an opportunity on Webba, now closed into 0.8 seconds. Yeah, I do believe that he had a big spin there at some point in the previous lap. Does give Tawa a little bit of action as he's been racing in no man's land for quite some time, so I'm sure he welcomes the company, even if it's at an accelerated pace there. But JT Ped seems to be sticking with Wibba. Either Wibba's looking for a little bit of fun here to end the final lap, or JT Pez has found a final extra gear 52 seconds remaining, so this will be the final lap of racing. You do see Wibba's got a little bit more speed here into the first straight, but there's a lot of track left. He can still find something in these turns. He's just got to keep it clean. Big crashing going on in the pro expert race. You see JT Pez, though, still trying to hunt down Wibba in front. Got a few guys only a second away from the guy in front of them, so a lot of people trying to battle. Chris C looks for his opportunity on Christian Crafton, and he manages to find it into the back straight on the final lap. So we'll see if Christian can find that back somehow. Elvis also looking for a chance on the the front straight. We've got a lot of guys looking for opportunities here. Elvis manages to find his. JT Pez, can he get his as they head through the second chicane? He's still within striking distance. He's going to pull a little bit closer here with the draft if he got a good exit. Not enough to really make a move. He'll have to do something special here on the final turn. I don't know what he can, and it's not enough to pull through. Only 4/10 separating, though. One hell of a finish. We'll see if we can catch on to the action here between Elvis and Blazek. Going wheel to wheel once more. Blazek going to pull ahead of Elvis again, heading into the 90. We'll see if Elvis can get back in front. But I think Blazek may have the pace. He's starting to pull ahead a little bit more here. Elvis now a full 5/10 away. Now 7 as they head through the second chicane. That was going to be his only real opportunity to make some ground. And barring a bad final turn, Blazek will lock up P7 to end the second race and to end the event overall here at Castle Combe. A great race by the rookies here today. A lot of wheel-to-wheel action, some very exciting stuff all around. As you can see, our final grid was not
fun.
separated by much. But appreciate everybody for watching. We'll catch you later. Hey, congrats, Patrick.
I think it's fun how there's not really like